Hello and welcome to another update video about the S&P 500. So yeah, we did push higher. Highlighted to you in the previous video that one more micro high here would be expected, and now we have enough waves to consider this entire move up complete, but that doesn't mean it has to be complete. We can still focus on higher as long as relevant support levels are holding, and I'm going to give you now a possible level for an extension. We also pushed above the pivot point, above $4,500. So it is possibly starting to get quite bullish. We're going to talk about that as well. Overall, we just need to be aware that there is a major pivot point here, obviously. I mean, we pushed above it, but that's not substantial enough to say that price is really broken through. The overall assumption is still that we could hear of this January 22 high, that this move down might have been an A wave into October 22, the move up a B wave, and we could come down in a C wave quite low actually from here. Yeah, so this is an area where we are reaching a major pivot point. Now, this is formally still my primary scenario, but be aware that we are at a pivot point. So their probabilities are very close together. So some people don't understand that. So I had questions about, okay, you expect it to go down. No, I don't expect it to go down. It's just a primary scenario. And that doesn't necessarily mean it is going to play out. It's just a primary because it adheres better to the rules and guidelines of the Elliott wave method. And because price to the upside is not very convincing since October 22. Yeah, it's basically, it started with a three-way structure. However, there is also a bullish scenario, and it is also very likely. And I'm not telling you we are going to come down here. I'm telling you the potential we will. Yeah, there is a potential. So that's important for risk management. But as long as the short-term trend is still up, I'm not telling you that we are breaking the trend. The trend is our friend, and the short-term trend is currently up. We just need to be very mindful of this larger degree scenario. So that means we need to pay very close attention to the micro levels on the smaller time frames. When they start to break, we need to become very, very cautious that this move down could happen. Because what I'm telling you is this could be a disaster. I mean, okay, disaster. But it could, well, you know, we talk about 25, 30% decline, maybe more, yeah. That's quite substantial that we can talk about a crash here. So just be aware of that. That's why I highlight this, and that's why I've started to cover the S&P 500 again, even though it's a lot of work, but it is so relevant. Now, don't tell me I'm not bearish about the S&P. I purely recognize, and that's the benefit of the analysis, I recognize the risk. I recognize there's a pivot point here, and we haven't yet fully convinced me, or price hasn't fully convinced me that something more bullish is happening. But it can, and I'm going to follow bullish, and I'm going to follow higher short term, because this is the short term trend, and until the trend breaks. Okay, when the trend breaks, I will make you aware. And Elliott wave is going to help us to understand when the trend breaks. Now, first of all, we recognize that things are going to get here. It seems like price is getting squeezed. Okay. Can you see that it looks nearly a bit like an ascending wedge or something, where we had a lot of volatility. Well, okay, we still have volatility, but because it's going up, but you have less of that up and down movement. So price is really moving in this kind of ascending wedge structure. It's just something worth noting. Not the most, well, it is quite well defined actually, more or less, okay. But it's something to be aware of. It's sort of moving, getting tighter and tighter together here. Yeah, be aware of that. So I'm just going to take that out again. But yeah, where are we now? Obviously, we're getting closer and closer here to a potential pivot. The idea was in the last video, we get probably one more high, or we did get that one more high, which is fantastic. So we're getting closer and closer here to a decision point. So the thing is now, off this 26th of June low, we have only a three-wave move up still, overall, yeah. We need to be very much aware of that, because it's not a complete, I mean, what did we say in the last video? In the last video, we said, okay, look, we had a 1 here, possibly a wave 2, 3, a 4. We were waiting for a wave 5. in an ABC structure, which basically technically is now complete. But it's such an ugly structure. I don't believe this structure is really what played out. Oops, let me take the... I don't believe, looking at the proportions now, this is a wrong count now. I mean, it's not wrong, it worked, but we just need to readjust it because something's off here looking at those proportions. Let's take that out. So it means we are now getting to a point where we're getting really to this possible B wave top, or it's a third wave top. And we can define support for wave 4 as soon as I have a confirmed micro top here in place. Yeah, I don't have that at this stage. I think it can still push higher on the lower degrees. So my idea is that, yeah, this might have been a wave 4 low. The move up is in 3 waves only. So I have to consider that we're dealing here with some kind of an ABC structure potentially. So what I've got here is, and this is currently a temporary count, might change, but it gives us relevant support areas. I've got here potential ABC structure. And in the C wave, and I have to count it like that because this move up is only in 3 waves. Yeah. Now this could also be a wave 1, and this could also be a wave 2 in a diagonal. Yeah, if this last wave up unfolds as a diagonal. And then here is C wave up. And now we need to understand, okay, in this C wave, do we get one more high? Okay, so what is count? Count would be here probably a 1. For best I can tell, then a 2, this low of the 10th of July. This looks also as if this could be the 3, could be the 4. So one more high is still reasonable, okay? Can still look at one more high here. And we're now also going to talk about which support level needs to hold to get that one more high. So that's what I'm going to do, tracking those micro supports, fib supports. So we're measuring the support area now for a wave 4. And because we might be dealing here again, you know, with an ending diagonal, things are getting very messy. So don't be surprised if wave counts morph and change, because again, this move up here, it's a 3-wave structure. This move up here, it's a 3-wave structure, it's corrective. So that means it could be a diagonal again, which is just changing and morphing a lot. So I'm going to add the 61.8 fib level as support as well, and would allow wave 4 to go all the way if it needs to. But ideally, it would reach the area between 4,494 and 4,458. If it really needs to, 4,441. But if we break below that level, we have a first indication, not certainty, but a first indication that a lasting top is in place, or a more substantial top. Until we break below the golden ratio here, one more high can happen. That's my update about the S&P. We'll stay close to this next week. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.